For those of you who didn't catch my late night live stream last night, I'm going to give you my revised thoughts ahead of this weekend's clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and George Groves in the World Boxing Super Series. I now suspect that George Groves is attempting some misdirection, that he doesn't really intend to try and knock Chris Eubank Jr. out early, or at least that's not the plan. I mean, I'm sure if he gets the opportunity, he'll do it, but all this stuff Groves has been saying about knocking Eubank Jr. out early, I think it's misdirection on George Groves' behalf. I think he wants to make Eubank Jr. expect a firefight and get Eubank Jr. mentally preparing for that, when in reality George Groves is going to replicate the same kind of game plan that he implemented against James DeGale many years ago. And going into the James DeGale fight, these are the kind of things that he was saying about facing DeGale, that it was going to be a firefight and whatnot and all this kind of business. He was acting as though he was going to stand in the middle of the ring and trade with DeGale, swap big, heavy shots, but he didn't. He got on his back foot, and it surprised DeGale. It surprised a lot of people, that particular game plan. And, you know, part of it is not just implementing the game plan in the ring, but it's the psychological games that George Groves played with James DeGale. Again, getting him to expect a certain type of fight and then doing the exact opposite. It also was a game plan that David Haye implemented against Nikolai Valuev. Before the fight, Haye was saying he's going to knock Valuev out, it's going to be explosive, this, that, and the other. And he got in the ring and moved around and stuck and moved for 12 rounds. I suspect that's what George Groves is doing here against Eubank Jr. That he's getting Eubank Jr. to think it's going to be one type of fight, and he's going to flip the script on him as soon as the first bell goes. The bell for the first round goes when they fight. So yeah, I think Groves is going to box on the back foot. I don't think he's going to use his jab that much, to be honest. He's going to use his jab, but I don't think it's going to be that effective against Eubank as it was against people like Murray and, slower footed guys who come forward in straight lines. I don't think it will be as effective against Eubank. So I think Groves' main focus will be on movement and countering Eubank as he jumps in with straight right hands. Yeah, Groves is hoping Eubank is going to get frustrated and lunge at him, and Groves is going to try and counter with that very, very powerful right that he's got. So, yeah, that is a style kind of like the old school David Haye style, the old school Adam Booth style. It doesn't necessarily rely that much on jabbing. David Haye was never a guy who used to jab a lot. Even George Groves, when he was with Booth, he didn't jab that much. And I think we're going to see a return to that. I don't think he's going to jab as much as we've seen him jab. He's going to jab, but I don't think he's going to be as jabbed as much as he was against Murray and all these other guys. No. I think he's going to try to be low volume and lead him with power punches when he can. So, because of that, I think it could be quite a cagey fight early on. Maybe not necessarily a lot of action. I think the action, if there is any serious action in this fight, is going to happen down the home stretch in the championship rounds, where Eubank Jr. might potentially be behind on the cards like he was in the Billy Joe Saunders fight and forced to rally, Then again, Eubank Jr. says he learned from the Billy Joe Saunders fight that he started too late. So maybe he won't allow George Groves to, maybe he'll take risks early in the George Groves fight if Groves is boxing on the back foot. And those risks might play into George Groves' hands, or maybe it'll pay off for Eubank Jr. At the end of the day, you got two guys here who know each other very well from sparring. They know each other's moves. They know each other's rhythm. So sometimes familiarity breeds contempt. So perhaps Eubank Jr. will be a little contemptuous of Groves, and maybe vice versa. We'll see. I'm definitely looking forward to the fight. It's very interesting. I'm still picking Eubank Jr. to win, but am I sure about it? Am I concrete? Am I, 100% certain? Absolutely not. This is a fight where I'm picking Eubank Jr. to win marginally. I think it's going to turn out to be a very competitive fight and a very difficult fight for both men. I don't see either guy having an easy time in this fight. That would surprise me. Groves winning wouldn't surprise me. Eubank winning wouldn't surprise me. But either one of them winning in an easy fashion, that would surprise me. So I don't see either guy winning easy. I'd be very surprised if that happened. I think it's going to be competitive. I wouldn't even be surprised if we end up with a controversial decision or even a controversial stoppage. That would not shock me. So, yeah. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, people. Who's going to win the fight? What kind of strategy are they going to employ? Is Groves, as I suspect, using misdirection here? Getting Eubank Jr. to expect a certain type of fight, saying he's going to knock him out early and all this kind of business, when really and truly, he just intends to box on the back foot. Is that what he's doing? Or maybe he genuinely believes he can knock Eubank Jr. out early. In a live stream that I did last night, and shout out to everybody who locked into that, people were saying that, there's quite a few people saying that they thought George Groves didn't look as confident as Eubank Jr. I don't particularly agree. I think Groves is a naturally extremely confident character. Very, very confident. To come back from the losses he's come back from, you've got to be confident. So I think he's got tremendous confidence. And, I don't see that necessarily as any kind of chink in Groves' armor. So that's my views. Drop your views in the comment section below and let me know how you feel. I did have something else to talk about with regards to this fight, but it's escaped me. Oh, that's what it was. For those of you who don't have Virgin Media or Sky, or maybe you're abroad, you're going to have to get this fight online. If you don't want to watch an illegal stream, you're going to have to purchase it online via a website called TV Player. It can also be purchased on your PlayStation. If you've got a PlayStation 4, you can purchase it on the PlayStation Store. And I believe if you've got an Xbox One, you can also purchase it on Xbox One. I'm thinking about purchasing it on the PlayStation 4, but I noticed in the small print when I went to the PlayStation Store to purchase it, it said that it's not available on demand after the event is finished, which is kind of disappointing to me. Because when you buy a pay-per-view on Sky Box Office, for example, you can go and then watch that event, I think, for up to a week afterwards. Because I bought the Joshua Klitschko pay-per-view and I was able to watch it online, numerous times after the event had ended for like a week or something like that. Whereas with the ITV box office, at least from what it says on the PlayStation Store, it says it's not available on demand after the event is finished. So I don't know whether on demand just means in the on demand section of the ITV website, because they have an on demand section there where you can go watch all the World Boxing Super Series fights for free. I don't know whether it just means that, or whether it means on demand as in you can't access the stream again once it ends, the stream you've paid for, and go watch it back again. I don't know whether it means that. You guys let me know. I'm kind of inquiring from you guys, if you've bought an ITV pay-per-view before, can you watch it? Especially if you've bought it on PlayStation before, but even if you've bought it on the online website, which I just mentioned and I've forgotten the name of already. If you've bought an ITV pay-per-view before online, let me know if you can watch it again afterwards, after the event has ended, because I just don't like the idea of paying for it and then not being able to watch it again when I've already paid, what is it, $16.95 or $16.99 or something. Come on, man, I should be able to watch it again and however many times I need to watch it. So that's a little disappointing to me. Let me know in the comment section if you've got any information about it anyway, people, and how are you guys going to be watching it? You're going to be streaming it online on different free streaming websites, or are you actually going to purchase it? Let me know. And yeah, just let me know what you think about the fight, how it's going to go, strategies of both men. If you're looking for, I believe the press conference is today, isn't it? Maybe I'll do another video about the press conference if I notice anything in terms of the head-to-head or anything that is said. I mean, these are two experienced guys, particularly George Groves, so you can't imagine any kind of mind games in terms of intimidation, or, some people are saying Eubank Jr. is gonna freeze again like he did against Billy Joe Saunders, or Groves ain't ready for the. I don't think either one of these guys is gonna freeze. There's too much familiarity there. Eubank Jr.'s been on the big stage now. Yeah, he went out to fight Avni Yildirim in his last fight in a very hostile environment, and there wasn't even any hint of him freezing. So I think he's over that freezing issue, because I do believe he froze against Billy Joe Saunders in the early rounds. I don't think that's going to happen to him again. I don't think it will happen to him against George Groves. I think if he loses to Groves, it will just be because Groves is the better fighter. As long as there's no controversy, then it will just be him losing to the better man. Nothing to do with freezing or anything like that. And as for Groves, I mean, come on, Groves ain't gonna freeze. Groves has been in massive fights before. 80,000 at Wembley with Carl Froch, and the first fight was a big fight. I think that was at the O2 or was that at Manchester? I can't remember. So yeah, neither one of these guys, I believe, is gonna freeze. It's just gonna come down to strategy and who's the better fighter. So anyway, let me stop waffling. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's Hatman, I'm out.